Alright, so this is gonna be a demonstration for how to get started with your like Shepard Fairey portrait that we're doing about the social issue. So in order to get the project started, we're gonna have to open up your vector portraits first. So we have your vector portraits opened up here, and all we're gonna do now is we're gonna save this as a JPEG file. Now, before you do save it as a JPEG file, if you have like a different background color, like in this example, I have a background color here. I'm actually gonna delete the background off of here and just have like that white space. So I'm gonna delete the background. I'm gonna hide the original picture that I used to do my drawing. And you want to just make sure to have like a white background because that's kind of like the first color we're gonna start off with in your picture. All right. So once you've or actually, you know what? We might want to keep the background for mine, just because like the hand here is like a pure white though. So I'm actually gonna undo what I did here. So I'll actually leave mine as orange here, and there's gonna be a reason why I'm gonna show you later if you have like the white on your skin with the highlights of the part. If it like blends in with the background, then you do have to keep the background here. So all we're gonna do is gonna do File, Export, Export as. And we're gonna basically just convert this image into a JPEG file. Yeah, you can't technically drag a Illustrator file into Photoshop. That's two completely different programs. So you want to click on Use Artboards, and we'll keep a PNG file. It's actually better to use a PNG file. This is more for like graphic images. So we'll keep a PNG, click export. Make sure to click on use artboards because it's only going to keep like what's in the artboard here. Click export. Actually, let me go back. So file, export, export as, use artboards. You want to make sure to save it in your folder. That's what I was trying to do. I'm going to save it in the social issues portrait folder. And once you save it though, you can leave the background white. Change your resolution to 300 ppi, and this you can leave the same. That's the same. Just click OK. Make sure it's 300 ppi just so you have like a nice high resolution picture. So once you're done with that, you can exit out of the Illustrator. So we're gonna go back to the folder where our picture is, and let's find the PNG. So this is the PNG we're gonna work with. So from here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go on to the Photoshop. So I go to Applications, Adobe Photoshop, Photoshop. And we're just going to set up our composition. So wait for it to load. Now, real important though, you want to follow these proper steps and procedures just because if you do things a little bit differently, then you may have like certain issues with your picture. Like for example, if you try to like drag and convert your actual image, it's gonna be a lot larger than it needs at default size. So we're gonna go to File, New, and yeah, we're gonna basically do like 11.5 by 8.5 picture. If you typically drag like the picture that you drew, it's gonna be a lot larger than what it seems, and there may be some slowdowns on your computers depending on if it's too big. So we're gonna do this 8.5 by 11. And you can do either orientation though, but I think most of us did choose like the portrait orientation. At least one way did your sketches. So we have like your normal standard rectangle size. And you can always adjust it later too. And all we're going to do is we're going to click and drag the picture that we just created, the PNG, onto the space. So I'm going to drag it onto here, and now we're going to resize the picture. So again, you want to refer back to your sketches, but in my main sketch though, I actually had the portrait directly in the middle of the picture. And once you drag onto it though, it's going to create a transform. So if you want to like readjust the transform, so you can always hold command and press T as in turtle to resize things. So I'm gonna have this in the middle here, just like I have in the my original picture. And part of the reason why I still kept the red background though is because I'm actually going to cut out that background. So I'm going to use this selection tool. And you might not need to do this if you don't have any like whites here that are kind of blending with the background. This part of my hand though was blending with the background, so I actually had to select this portrait in order to cut it out. And then for those of you that didn't finish your vector portraits, okay, you're gonna have to do the same steps that I'm doing with this picture here, but the only difference is you're gonna use that original picture that you started off with. So you're gonna do the selection using this portrait here. Okay, but everybody should have done this one at this point though. But you may have not finished your portraits, but you're gonna use this picture too for your project. So I'm just gonna select those areas. I'm just clicking on it real quickly. And again, some of you guys may not need to do this step. You might have like that perfect white picture. It might be fine the way it is, so you may not need to do this. All right, let's see. Gotta make sure you get that little strand of hair there. Select that part. It's not perfect though. I'm gonna do Command Z. I kind of selected too much of that. So it's as close as it could get. And what we can do is after we've selected most of those shades, we can do a select and mask. And then you can use this refine edge tool. Click on this brush here. This refine edge tool will just help to clean up those edges a little bit more. It should clean up real well because this is a pretty good cutout image that I have here. I just couldn't get those little spaces. So I'm just cleaning up those edges there. Yeah, that looks good. So at this point here, I just, these should be the same by default. Click on decontaminate colors, or actually we'll leave that alone and click OK. And then you should have like the picture cut out for you right here. All right. So now I have my picture cut out. Everything's set up the way it's supposed to be. And then from here, this is when you can add or change things to your picture. And just real important though, if you want to make any changes or adjustments to like the actual portrait, you want to like make sure to click create a layer mask. So like right here, this black and white picture, this is your layer mask. And anytime that you color it black, it will erase the picture. So this will erase the picture. And then the white will bring back the picture. In this case, it's actually bringing out the whole picture back. So I actually had to take this one more step. And again, you probably won't have to deal with this problem. But I'm going Windows History, just going back on those brush strokes that I made. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to, throw the layer mask away. Oh, cancel. Throw it away here. It's going to ask me to apply a layer mask before moving. I'm going to click apply. And now the layer mask is combined with the portrait. But from here though, since you guys have probably mostly it's cut out perfectly for you, I'm going to have to do layer mask, layers up here, layer mask, reveal all. And then if you want to erase parts of the pictures, you just click on the black to erase it. So you should have like extreme black, so make sure it's on the very far corner. And then the white, make sure the white's all the way in the corner. This will bring the picture back. So like if you look at it right here, I have like a very harsh edge here, so maybe I might want to use the black, fade those edges out a little bit more. It's up to you how you want to, do that. I always like using the faded edges a little bit more, just because it kind of makes it look like it's not a cut out of the picture. So I'm gonna use the white to just bring it back a little bit. So actually gonna make the brush smaller. I can get a little bit more of the edges. All right. So now I have this picture to work with. So I'll make this a little bit. So I just did Command T as in turtle, make it a little bit bigger. So if you can though, try to fade the edges out, or if there's like another thing you want to do, obviously some of you can, like with the original picture, you can just, again, I'm just like showing you with this picture. You can place it in the corner if you wanted to. Oops. this picture here, you can place it in the corner, you know, resize it. Just imagine if there wasn't an orange background, you know, you can, if that's one of your composition designs, you can use that. In this case, I went in the middle here. All right, but you know, from here though, you know, pretty much it's like, you know, you add the text, the words, like we did in your practice assignment. All right.